Hey, what's up, Jets fans? Liam here, Everything NYJ, back with another video for you. Hopefully, you guys were able to get out and enjoy some of that nice warm weather today. It was like 83 today here on Long Island, which is absolutely crazy considering that we're only in April. This is typically like June, July, August weather, but I'll take it. I love the warm weather, I really do. So today I just want to talk about possible moves that the Jets can make at the wide receiver position. Uh, Currently, the depth chart at the wide receiver position for the New York Jets right now is Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, Corey Davis, Denzel Mims, Deontay Spencer, Irvin Charles, and Malik Taylor. I don't want to say that we're thin at the position because I don't think that we're thin, but I definitely think that there is a significant drop off from Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Mecole Hardman, even Corey Davis, compared to somebody like a Deontay Spencer, Irvin Charles, or Malik Taylor. Knock on wood, God forbid that there is an injury with one of our top guys. I really don't feel comfortable, sending Malik Taylor out there. I really don't. So I just want to go over some possibilities that the Jets could find a way to get some decent depth at this position. It seemed like OBJ was definitely it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion that OBJ was going to be a Jet. And then obviously Sunday Easter night, uh, the Baltimore Ravens come in and they sign him to a 1 year deal up to $18 million, which to me is just absolutely insane. I liked OBJ. I didn't really necessarily mind the idea of him coming to the team, but all things considered, two ACL injuries. He hasn't played in over a year. You don't know what he's going to be. He's getting up there in age, like 31 years old, and he has been known to be a diva. But it did, like I said, it seemed like a foregone conclusion that he was going to be a Jet. He was scheduled this past Monday to fly into the facility, meet with the Jet staff, take a physical, and then most likely be offered a contract. But I understand that you can't do that for 18 million. You can't do it for 18 million. I understand that. I completely get it. So I just want to go over, some available free agents that I see. That some of them would make sense for the Jets, some not so much. But this is just kind of what's out there. I'm not saying that these are specific guys that I want, necessarily. This isn't necessarily my opinion. This is just kind of what's available right now. Obviously, so you start. I can't even talk today. Starting off with the first one, DeAndre Hopkins. If he's released, I would definitely do the deal, but I would not trade for him. I mean, his cap hit's like 30 million, so it's definitely a pretty high contract. He's getting up there in age as well. He has a lot of tread on his tires. He was suspended last year, and he does have a little bit of injury history as well. But that does seem to be like the next best available option for the New York Jets if he does become released from the Arizona Cardinals, and that is a very realistic possibility. It's very realistic. There's a very good chance that DHop will be released, and if that is the case, then that might be a player that the New York Jets consider bringing in. Another one is Randall Cobb, 32 years old. He's an ex-Packer, has the connection with Aaron Rodgers, so it just seems to make sense there. He was actually on Aaron Rodgers' wish list, and those were kind of like the big three that I was hearing. I was hearing OBJ, I was hearing D-Hop, and I was hearing Randall Cobb. Somebody else to keep an eye on is Sammy Watkins, 29 years old. Also an ex-Packer. He has that connection with Aaron Rodgers as well. He's getting up there in age. He has been around the league for a long time. Pretty durable wide receiver. Not sure if this is a realistic option for the Jets or not. But getting into the next one is T.Y. Hilton. Not really a big fan of him. 33 years old. It is what it is. Kenny Galladay, 29 years old. Absolutely not. I do not want to see him in the green and white whatsoever. Next is Julio Jones, 34 years old. He was pretty decent with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but 34 years old, injury history. There's a lot of concern there. There really is. So he does have the connections, with some of the ex-Tennessee coaches that are now on the Jets coaching staff. So maybe that there could be something there. I'm not really sure. I don't know how confident I feel signing a 34-year-old Julio Jones, to be completely honest with you. Another person I want to mention was Jarvis Landry, 30 years old. I don't think that the Jets are going to possibly touch him with a 10-foot pole, to be completely honest with you. And then the last available free agent was Robbie Chosen Anderson, ex New York Jet, 29 years old. When he was released, Joe Douglas said that he didn't want to do it. It was a hard decision to move on from Robbie Anderson because there was that potential there, very fast route runner. But he was really just a one trick pony. He's never really had much strength to him. He was always just kind of like a big body for the New York Jets. I liked Robbie Anderson when he was on the Jets. I really don't see any interest in bringing him back. So out of these free agents, I think it's most likely either going to be Randall Cobb, maybe Sammy Watkins. I haven't heard his name rumored out there as much as I have with Randall Cobb. And then, of course, DeAndre Hopkins, if he's released. Like I said before, I would not trade for him. I would not give up valuable draft compensation. But speaking on the draft, I want to get into some possible draft options, some wide receiver prospects that the Jets could potentially look at. At pick 13, obviously the number one wide receiver is Jackson Smith Najigba, from Ohio State. He has that connection with Garrett Wilson. If he's there at 13, do you take him? I like the potential. I really do. I think that he does have a high ceiling. I think he's going to have a pretty damn well NFL career. But I think that we just have more holes, especially with the offense and defensive line. I personally would take an offensive tackle at pick 13 if there is a good one available, which I'm sure there will be. Or, like the Joe Douglas philosophy is kind of just best player available. I mean, we saw it last year with Sauce Gardner, where cornerback wasn't our biggest hole. It wasn't really necessarily a glaring hole on the Jets, but you see Sauce Gardner, you see the potential, and he turned out to be defensive rookie of the year. So I could really see this one going either way. I could see the Jets, definitely having interest in him. But if I'm Joe Douglas, if I'm the New York Jets personally, I'm taking a offensive lineman, whether it be a tackle, guard, whoever. Most likely a tackle because you can't really bet on Mekhi Becton and Dwayne Brown. Just too many injuries there. Mekhi Becton hasn't played in just about 2 years. Although he does seem to be taking his nutrition and his diet very seriously. He almost looks like a defensive end. He's lost a ton of weight, probably the best shape of his career. And then Dwayne Brown playing with one shoulder, 38, possibly going to be going on 39 years old by the time of next season. So I would just like to go younger at that position. Uh, so that's what I would do personally. Somebody else to keep an eye on is Jordan Addison, Josh Downs, Zay Flowers, maybe even Xavier Hutchinson in the later rounds. I don't have a problem drafting a wide receiver in the later rounds because it would most likely just be depth. I mean, unless it's like JSN, then who most likely will be starting day one. These are just going to be a lot of depth guys. I just think that it's very important that I don't want this team to miss a beat if God forbid that there's an injury. We, as Jets fans, we've seen that one too many times where a player goes down and it's just not the same. The production's just not there. It really stalls out and it hurts everybody around them. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with this list? Would you guys rather sign a free agent? Would you rather possibly trade for DeAndre Hopkins? I don't, like I said, I don't want to trade for him, but if he becomes released, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's the truth. If he becomes released, then possibly. Or do you guys want to go find somebody in the draft? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk Jets soon.